fundamentally, digital solutions make data more freely accessible to both industry players and to farmers. And this helps them make science-based decisions on practices that can help them adapt to climate change. And we just heard from Juan Pablo some great innovative tools that are examples of that. And so that includes satellites, advanced monitoring systems, some of the things that he just mentioned. And obviously, using them helps us all fill in the blanks about our planet and about our climate. I'd say a challenge that Conservation International sees is that organizations are really struggling to apply these new technologies at the speed and the scale that's really necessary to keep up with all of these pressing environmental issues. So one solution to that could be an alliance between technologists, nonprofits, the private sector, policymakers, and investors, and that could potentially help change that. Another opportunity that we see is related to costs and also reporting. So I think we all know that the coffee supply chain is naturally fragmented, and it's hard to know where all of coffee is coming from. And then, of course, measuring the impacts of all of that coffee, and it's complicated. And so that often means hiring external consultants, and that reporting might be limited or it just doesn't happen. So then companies are unable to proactively invest in coffee farmers because they don't have the information. And then also too, farmers are left with few incentives to adopt those climate smart practices. And also the costs of reporting and marketing sustainable coffee is just not worth the premium. And so again, as Juan Pablo just mentioned, Farm Trace, which I think will be highlighted by more speakers as well in this session and future sessions, can make things easier for coffee buyers and producers to get those science-based insights into the impacts of their coffee and how it's grown. And then they are then rewarded for implementing those climate smart farming practices. I think just lastly, I would say in terms of risks, it's really important to set up clear principles around data ownership. Conservation International partnered with Starbucks Coffee Company a few years ago, fairly recently, to try to identify the benefits of digital traceability for coffee farmers, and then how to best design those programs with that in mind. So CI conducted field visits, talked to cooperatives, visited washing stations, of course, interviewed farmers, and learned a couple of things that I'll just quickly mention. Definitely that these programs should include two-way information flow, and that information should enhance farmers' knowledge of the market and also the value chain. So that could be providing farmers with information on transactions, which countries are importing their coffee, and then the types of products that are ultimately produced. One other lesson from this study was that farmers don't actually need a smartphone to connect with these digital platforms. I think we always think, you need a smartphone, but from this study, it was seen in Rwanda, and then, as I understand it, in Africa overall, that mobile payments can work with regular phones. And so those could provide digital alternatives for farmer payment. And then just to end, it's always important to think about collaboration between all of the various stakeholders. So if that's like co-ops, roasters, the exporters, in this case, maybe like a cell phone company, and then just generally considering local conditions. That's just paramount when you're creating any sort of digital traceability program.